Welcome to Community Corner. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
I'm County Castle.
And I'm David DeWitt Taylor.
We are pleased to welcome our guest today, David J. Taylor. Our friend David is an achieved advocate presenting talks about public support of those with challenges to engage in very active and positive lives. He speaks to self-determination and everyone to voice and their goals and dreams, to speak ways to include areas of training and guidance. Guiding that will make these dreams actually. David is a wonderful information to share with us today. So we are so glad to have him here as our guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome David J. Taylor.
Thank you, Ryan.
Welcome, Mr. David J. Taylor. Good afternoon to you. So please tell us a little about yourself and your family growing up.
I lived in Detroit for a little while when I was young, and I moved to Oak Park in Oakland County when I was about 8 years old. I lived with my grandma. Used to live with my grandma for half of my childhood into half of my adulthood life. And recently, I just moved to Ferndale. So it'd be about 2 years since I've been on my own. And my childhood for me was more, I had like a lot of fun time, just enjoy life more, like doing so much everything.
Tell us about the schools you attended.
I went to my first school. I went to an elementary school called Einstein Elementary, and I was in general ed classes when I was younger, and I went to a school called Key Elementary to go into special ed classes, and I transitioned from special ed classes to general ed. So I was doing, like some of my classes I have special ed classes and I have general ed classes in different times of the school hours.
Okay.
And then I went to Oak Park High School, and from there I went from Roosevelt Middle School. From there I went to Oak Park High School, and I was doing like the transition and stuff from there.
Tell us about your teachers, and did you join clubs, after school activities?
For me, it was more. High school was a little bit more hard for me because the things that I went through, like the struggles I went through in high school, so it was a little bit hard for me. So I had to really understand how to do everything like everybody else did. But I knew the basic stuff for myself, but it was a little hard. So I never really asked people to help me with a lot of it. I had the low self-esteem in school, so it made things a little hard for me. But the activity things I did, I played football, I like ran track and did a lot of like activities, and I worked after school. So I did a lot of things, a lot of after school. But school wasn't really more for me. It was hard for me because I had like really low self-esteem and a lot of that.
Now, Mr. David Taylor, would you tell us a little about your hobbies and interests?
It's in my hobbies and my interests.
Yeah.
My hobbies, I like to lift weights. I like to work out. I like to just hang out. This enjoy life more. And what was the other question?
Are you interested? What are the things you like to do? You like to?
My interest for me, I like to just be around people. I like to just have fun in life and just be myself.
That's cool.
How did you put together your helping team?
Well, would be the first time I received service, or the first time like my support.
I guess both.
The first time I received services was I believe almost 8 or 9 years ago, and my first intake was at my house, and I didn't know at the time what Wilbur Services was for me. So I one of the people that was at my house and who came to it was Lisa Bellini. She was the first person who came to my house, and it was, for me, it was more that I had to find out what service was for me. So my grandma and the former superintendent of Oak Park School District, and it was Dr. Bailey. He was a part of my circle, and I had to figure out what goals I wanted for myself, how did I wanted to achieve them, and I have like Maria as my independent support coordinator. So a lot of that came from me just having like this, like my circle became bigger just because I started doing more things for myself, and I had people there who wanted me to do more for myself, but also help me the things that I was going through.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it actually is. It's fun though.
Fun. Well, it's fun.
Tell us how you all worked together. And also, do you meet often? And where do you meet?
The way things work for me, for my circle, is a lot of it comes from being that a lot of the stuff I do, I'm independent on a lot of the stuff I do. And my support circle comes when like certain things that like I need, like transportation or deciding of like different things that I have to do, like doing public speaking and a lot of that, and trying to like getting all the process and everything situated. So what happens is that I would give my independent support coordinator a call, and what will happen is that the coordination has to be put into place to know where is it at, what I'm going, how long it's going to be, and it comes down for like the telephone calls, the follow-ups, and a lot of that, and me taking that role and just making sure things are moving slow, and this making sure that everything is in place and in order. So it comes from me just connecting and connecting with the people there who's in place for it.
Do you meet often?
I have staff at my house, and I have being that I have 2 roommates. I have staff in my house 23 hours. So, but it's the way it is the way it's set up. It's set up kind of good actually. It's a perfect setup just because we all have help with everything we need help with, and so it works out for the best of us. We all can do like the things we can do on ourselves. It's not like, it was set up more for just because we have that flexibility that we can do a lot. And the way, for one of your questions you said, what was one of the questions you said, David?
And where do you meet sometimes?
Well, I like to meet like in restaurants, like go to different places to meet so I can eat and do business.
Like your usual typical day.
Yeah, pretty much. Or I meet at home, and it's whatever we can choose to meet at.
Now, David, tell us now. So please share with us where you've lived over the years. Where have you lived over these past years?
Over the past years, I was living with my grandma at the time. It was a good experience for me. She taught me, and I learned how to be more independent for myself, to do a lot more things on my own. And this past, well, it'll be 2 years in June since I've been on my own, and now I live in Ferndale.
Hey, that's cool.
And I also wanted to say that I having an experience living on my own and seeing what's out there, I actually love it just because I can do a lot more for myself too, and I can do a lot of more of trying to do more independent for myself. So it makes it more better for me. instead of me just doing waiting for other things, I can really be more independent for me.
That's very interesting.
Tell us about the various committees that you're on.
I'm on, wow, it's so many of them. I can't keep count of them.
What can you kind of hold community around, David?
Because I do so many. And I'm trying to, what community? Oh, I'm on the Michigan Partners of Freedom. I am also a part of the Stigma Toolkit of Champions. I'm a part of the Peer Mentor Case Management Committee, and I'm also, did I get all of them? Oh, a part of the CAC committee as well. I think I got all of them.
I believe you. I believe you just did.
I'm not 100% sure. I do so many of them.
You're not 100% so?
Oh, and I'm also a part of the. I also sit on the key value committee, and also I'm a part of the like hiring, like I sit on the like interviewing committee as well. When we interview and hire people to for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tell us all about the trainings you have received from various agencies.
Oh man, I can't keep counting. That's some years. I did. Let me see. I did the Substance Mason training. I did Michigan Partners of Freedom. I did a couple things from community mental health trainings. It's a lot. I can't even keep count. I did so many of them over the years. I don't remember how many I don't remember how many exactly I did, but I know on the top of my mind I can get them right with everything else. Wow, it's a lot. Oh, and I forgot one thing. I'm in my intern part of my job as community living service. As a peer mentor specialist, in my intern. So that's a training that I'm doing right now. I have to have so many hours to complete that, but I'm still working at the job and as a staff member. So I'm doing that and doing training at the same time. So I've been doing like intakes, percent plannings, and employer records as well. So I've been doing a lot of things, and I keep myself busy to keep me really being out there.
Now, David, would you please tell us details about the Michigan Partners of Freedom? Because, as you know, I'm a member of the Michigan Partners of Freedom with you. Remember?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I know. You and David and I are a part of that.
Yes, we are.
Michigan Partners of Freedom. You want the like when it started, or
Yeah.
what is Michigan Partners of Freedom started in 2004, and they got a grant. They got a wrote a proposal to the DD Council. The DD Council is Michigan the Development Disability Council,
Okay.
and they got approved for a grant to have Michigan Partners of Freedom a part of a statewide statewide grant, and it was for people in the community the community to be local leaders in their community, to be leaders in their community, to make changes and help with policy making and just really being involved in everything what goes on. And one of the things that we have been doing is being that the DVD it just came out, the one that me and David is a part of, is the process your own budget process. And what we've been doing is we've been showing people how to do things more easier and make it more simple for people to understand how to do things and not fall through the cracks. So it came down for just really knowing how to really just do things the easy way, not the hard way. And so we do a lot of, so in each part of the state is different counties that we have, and local leaders are a part of their county, so we have local meetings. Every second or Thursday we have meetings. And being that you and David are part of that, and it just giving like the feedback and the updates, what's going on and everything. So we've been working hard on everything, and we've been doing a lot. Don't you agree with that?
I do agree because it's important that people with disabilities are treated with respect because being a leader is a very important job. As David,
Right.
as being a leader, you have to apply yourself to the 5 principles of self-determination, which are very important principles.
Yeah.
Maybe my parents need that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Ryan. Just because having that and having all that, it doesn't matter if you don't have it. It's just the way you put it together. It works for different people, and it just the way things work out. You have to live it to even say. If you say it and you don't live it, it's pointless. So you just gotta
Live it and learn it.
yeah, pretty much, and just stick with it and never give up.
Now, David, I understand you have a presentation every year up in Lansing, and I was just curious if you could please show our viewers what the presentation looks like. If you could please explain to our viewers how you can make this great presentation.
Sure, I would definitely do that for you, no problem. And one of the things I want to do is institutions was during that era. It was more that people didn't have the choice to be out in society. They was told to be in that it was better for them to be in institutions. And what I'm showing you today is some of the institutions that they have people with disabilities in, and it wasn't nothing for them to have. It was just more that they wasn't now in society, so they wasn't. So they basically was segregated in these buildings that they didn't even have freedom to do anything they wanted. They was told that they had to leave at a certain, eat at a certain time. They had to do all this, so it was hard for them. And just showing a couple of institutions that is out there. You can, and one of the things that I do want to make issue is that they didn't have their own rooms. People was just bunching all in one room. So it was crowded as well in a lot of these, and it wasn't nowhere for nobody to live in. And good thing is that in the early '90s, and one of the things that happened is that they closed institutions down. They started closing the institutions down because people started complaining, and the advocates started to be a part of it. So they started to close a lot of them down and shut a lot of them down as well. And it just like during that time, bad images that you just see as you see now. And this restroom is for staff only. For somebody to live in a group home and have that in for them to say that only staff can use that was still part of the segregated at that time. So it was a hard thing. People were still acting the way they was during that era, and the employee earnings and all that still set that segregated for people. And Justin Dauber was one of the people that had a disability. Well, he was like really important, but he attended like schools like Houston University and did a lot of stuff for the cause that he wanted to do, and he had a vision that most people at that time didn't have and wasn't even thinking about doing. One of the things that he did was he made things different. So he decided that he wanted to make it easier for people with disabilities to have that life, to be the grandfather of all of it. So he decided to, you can go ahead. He decided to have them have that law passed in 1990 for the Americans with Disability Act, and they passed that law. And it was a law that when they passed it, it was the first step of things changing for the disability population. lot of people that who was a part of that also did things. A lot of, and one of the ladies that she stood in San Francisco at the federal building in San Francisco, and they was there protesting, and all of them came in there in all their wheelchairs and everything, just because it was a time for a change. They wanted to make a change. They wanted to make a statement to let people know that we are here. We are not going nowhere. And they stayed there over 100 advocates stayed there and protest, and actually stayed in. It was one of the longest standouts in history for a whole month. So they passed that law as well. You can move forward. And one of the people that I'm actually showing, he's an advocate. His name is Ray Shuhar. He was a part of the institutions and a lot of it, and he's a advocate, and his vision is just like the vision that he has now. He don't never say that people are cans. You confirm people as people by their name, never about cans. And this right here is actually this is like what we stand for at this time. This is the future of it. People are speaking now and being at rallies, walking around my shoes, and speaking about mental health and everything. And the times have changed. As things are changing, new advocates are coming out and speaking up for the cause. You can move forward, and just having the support circles and everything that we have for people with disabilities to really be proud of their life more than anything. That's more than powerful than anything you can ask for. And just really being happy that we are here as a community and being treated as people and being a part of the community is one of the things you can ask for in life that you can always be a part of. You can go ahead. And it just shows you different things that people are doing now in the new year, that things have been changing. From the past to the present, things have been changing more. And when you was in institute, people could never get married or be in their own home. Now change have changed. People are getting married, being in their own home, being their own homeowners. And people are happy that they can choose the life that they always wanted. And just being happy and being an advocate is one of the powerful things you can ask for, and just being proud of who you are. That's all you can ask for.
Senator?
Yeah, that was a great moment for me. I actually met the senator, so that was something proud, but I was happy just to be there. We can, and this really just have, for people to understand that we are human. We cannot change who we are. We just being a part of society is one of the best things that's all we wanted in life.
Wow.
So yeah, thank you for letting me do my presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was David. May I tell you something? That was very powerful. It touched me in some good ways. David, would you please
It touched me in a lot of ways too. I feel how happy I am today because of you.
Thank you.
Aaron. And you too, Orion.
Because you were the person who said those people to tell us, hey, no institutions. Put us mental health comes first.
We found those professionals.
Oh, that was a wonderful point.
And let's just say, thanks for coming down, David J. We are learning more about you as a person, not a label, and about your life, including the meaning of self-determination. Many folks do not even think about living the lives of those with all types of challenges. It It is also mission to bring information about the avenues available to train and support learning and productive options for the disabled. David J. is a prime example of expressing his abilities with success, and we are proud of him today. Thanks again, David J. Keep up a great work.
Same to you too.
Thank you,
Thank
David.
you. Thank you too.
You're watching ONTV. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
I'm David Stewart Taylor, and
My name is Anaconda Castle. You have been watching ONTV/CMN.
see you in April. Happy spring.
Happy spring, everybody. Bye.